I want to change the subject just a little bit and go
Sure.
back to your TEDx talk a little bit. Can you tell us about your journey to get to that TEDx? From the time you decided that you wanted to do it to the time that you walked up on stage to do it. Can you tell us about that?
So I had moved to Savannah. After I sold my house, I actually came here. I wasn't sure I was going to stay. I just didn't want to shovel snow anymore, and I wanted to get here and have some warmth for a while. And I just wound up staying. So I wound up staying here, buying a condo, making friends, getting involved in boards. I started writing my memoir. And I will just have to say just quickly, because I think this kind of goes into your question. For years people would write to me and say, well, how can I save my marriage? And I would write back to them and saying, like, well, I wasn't able to save mine. So, and I'm not a therapist.
Yeah. So,
Um,
yeah.
People would continue to write to me and say, I'm in such pain. I don't know what to do. And for me, having gone through what I did to get to a place where I felt really happy and free and able to start over, I said, the one thing that I can do is I can tell you what I did. I can tell you what, how I held on, how we all hold on, and how I was able to let go. Because we hear that in our culture. We hear, let go, let go. Well, nobody really knows, what does
What
that
that
mean?
means.
How
Yeah.
do you do it?
Yeah.
So I thought the one thing that I can do is I can write about my experience. So I started writing my memoir. And then in 2015, because they have a very good TEDx program here in Savannah, I applied to do a talk. So I didn't get in, and I was like, oh, I wanted to get in. And part of me felt like, oh gosh, that's going to be too scary. I'm glad I didn't get it.
Yeah. Okay. Part of you. Yeah. Okay.
But the next year I applied and I got
Mm.
in. So I think there were a couple of things at work here. One was, I was still writing my memoir, but I thought, well, this is a way that I can go out on stage and I can talk to people about how to approach loss, how to look at it, what I did, what we normally do, which is against our nature, I think. And so that
Mm.
felt very good for me to be able to have that opportunity to do that. The other thing is that I think I was writing my book, and I thought, how sometimes they say, you need your hook and you need I
Yeah.
really wanted to kind of crystallize what I believed, what I thought. And so the TEDx form was a really good way for me to, in a very short period of time, to really crystallize what I thought my message was to people.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so that's so I got in the next time, and I also thought too, let's like this is this one last challenge, because it's
Mm.
hard to get out there and be on that stage and without notes and have this conversation with people. So those were kind of three reasons why I wanted to do this that led me to apply and then I had to fill out a long application, go for an interview, and then I was accepted to give a talk.
So I think there's a lot of misinformation, misgivings about this. There's some of us who went for a TEDx talk and had to apply to hundreds. But there's a few of us, though, who had a passion for what they're talking about and just said, I want to deliver it here and worked till they got it there. It took you 2 years. Sometimes it may take more. Sometimes it doesn't take any time at all. But I think that's interesting that you just said, I want this. You didn't go for any other TEDx. You just went for that one.
No, I didn't. It seemed like the other thing, I guess, that came out of my whole journey, which was really quite long, is that I felt initially when I went through the divorce and all the many things that happened that I had lost my intuition. Or I
Oh,
couldn't count on my intuition. I
okay.
couldn't count on making right choices, because if I had made a colossally wrong mistake about one of the most important things in life, how could I trust my intuition
To
about
do,
other
yeah,
things?
right.
So what I realized is that my intuition was pretty good and I could count on it. But I had to get that confidence back. And I
Okay.
think by this point, applying, I just knew it was right, and I felt like it was right, and there, that doesn't always happen, but when I feel like I'm right on that path, exactly where I'm supposed to be, there's just a feeling that there's this alignment that I can feel, and I just know this is right.